We're thrilled to be here with you all in the great state of Ohio. I'm Dean Cooper, account manager for a lot of you. Also on our team is Mike Carney, inside account manager for some more of you, and Dennis Carter, who's the director of North American account management that a lot of you are familiar with as well. From Innovative's point of view, I'd like to start by showing our appreciation for your patronage with us, and we look forward to many more years of working with you all and innovating together. We've got a lot of exciting things to talk about today, so without much more ado, I'm just going to dive right in on our corporate update, including roadmaps, new products, and corporate vision. Of course, we can't start a corporate update without first talking about the Clarivate and ProQuest acquisition. And I'm going to use the term update here pretty loosely because not much has been happening, to be honest. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's not much to update on what's been happening. As many of you know, earlier in the year, Clarivate and ProQuest came to an agreement for Clarivate to acquire ProQuest. Through this acquisition, a large number of ProQuest owners become owners in Clarivate as well. Since the deal was announced, the Federal Trade Commission has been looking into the details as they do and reviewing any of these sorts of deals of this magnitude. And that's where we are today. They are still reviewing all of that and with no determinations provided at this point. So at Innovative, it's business as usual. We're charging ahead, working to serve our customers and innovate on your behalf. And during this time, our focus has really been three primary goals. These three: support, deliver, and drive. Okay, support and develop our current solutions, our in-market products. Deliver on product strategy. This is if we say we're going to develop something, we're going to deliver that release on a deliverable date and hold ourselves to it. And drive for excellence. And the drive for excellence is really important in that our goal is for you, the customers, to be delighted when interacting with us. And so you'll continue to interact with all of us on an ongoing basis. And we do have a lot of different interaction touch points that we provide for you. Obviously, in the top right, the Innovative User Groups is where we are today, but we've been doing a lot more webinars. I think a lot of you have been able to participate in some of those and view them, whether that's on our Vimo site, social media, maybe you become aware of it through a press release, or one of our other resources that we have out there. Obviously, Idea Lab is your main primary touch point with our product team. Later in this session, I will be showing exactly the impacts Idea Lab have had on our product and the new items in the releases. Customer support and supportal is an area that a lot of you know and use. I'm going to go to that next, but I'm also going to talk about the customer success managers and our customer success team, as that's a somewhat new area that we've rolled out recently. Talking about customer success, your success manager, your support manager, if you're on Sierra, is Gary Bell. He manages a team that answers your supportal questions. If you're on Polaris, it's Jesse Johnson. He manages that team. And then Ann Rakes handles the level 2 or tier 2 support team. So if you have a particularly complex situation, it could likely get escalated to her and her team. So those are the three main people that oversee the teams that answer your support questions. They always ask me if you see get the little survey that comes at the end of a supportal ticket to please fill that out. Those are the people that review those responses and they very much value your feedback on those. Customer success team is something relatively new at Innovative, and hopefully you've had the opportunity to interact with one of these three as the support teams for Ohio. If you're Polaris, it's Connie Wilson, and if you're Sierra, it's either Martha Rice Sanders or Julie Dorr. These people have a long background with Innovative and are able to provide a deeper insight into some of the more complex situations that evolve over time with the software and the ILSs. And everybody on those teams help contribute to our education and training portal. I know a lot of you have seen the enhancements that have come to support.iii.support.com, and we hope that those resources are being utilized by you and your library staff. So that's a little bit of our corporate vision. And really what we're looking at is the ILS is the foundation of that. Going back to earlier to support the core products, that's the ILS. And then deliver, that's the new products around it. So now we're going to spend a little time looking and talking about some of the new products that we've been innovating. But I never like to look forward without looking back. And as we look back, some of the great advancements we've made together over the years. Innovative believes we are the right partner to help libraries face the future. We've been successful because we focus on what matters most to libraries, your patrons. We focus on creating solutions that help spark connections with patrons. Sometimes that's better with patron interfaces, and other times it's tools that give staff more time to spend with patrons. But you can see these aspects in our timeline, especially recently with the launch of our Vega and our patron mobile app. Both of these are patron-facing enhancements. Hopefully this shows you where our focus is. And the first new product that I'm going to talk about is our innovative phone alerts, IPA, right? Who doesn't like a good IPA? This is just for Sierra libraries at this point, and this is our newest product that we're in the very beginnings of announcing. For quickly, what is it? It's a new cloud-based communication system. It helps libraries efficiently communicate notices directly with their patrons via outbound phone calls. In essence, we're getting rid of some of the old phone lines and hardware and putting it all in the cloud using voice over IP technology. It's a nice, secure environment where patrons are getting notified on a window of time that the library sets. Library name shows as a caller ID, and it is enabled to leave voicemails if the patron does not answer or is screening, as so often we do. It's simple to set up and launch. There's no hardware needed on the library's part. And Innovative can implement this in the month. It uses your existing Sierra tables, and it is delivered as software as a service. So updates are provided in real time or on an ongoing basis. And there's nothing needed on the library's part. Customer support for Innovative phone alerts is handled through the supportal the same way as your other support needs. There is a staff web interface that allows for reporting and accuracy checking for the notices going out. As I mentioned before, this is a relatively new product, so there's still some very key elements coming down the pipe with it, specifically inbound calls. That'll be later this year, along with that web portal I mentioned for staff being enhanced. And then next year, we're looking to add some languages. Currently, there is no time frame for Polaris, but we certainly hope to get there. So similarly to, I shouldn't say similarly, next on the timeline is the innovative mobile app. I'm not going to go into too much detail here because we have a whole nother session dedicated just to the mobile app where you'll see a live demonstration of it. But I will say that it's a fully functional patron mobile app. When I say fully functional, they can check out items physically at your branch using a barcode or RFID scanner that's in the phone, or they can check out ebooks at home and be able to read them on their phone. It's quick, easy setup. This is done in a matter of 6 to 8 weeks. It helps patrons. They can link accounts if there's family members that they want to share with, and it's very empowering for the patrons. They can customize the look, some of the aspects of the look and feel on their own. Equally, it's going to enable them to not be in lines at the library. If there's a line, even at a self-check station at the library, they can just use their phone to scan and check out. Equally, the library can control the look and feel of the complete app, as well as adding things like hours of service, links out to event calendars and other items that you want to make sure that your patrons are made aware of. Next is going to be the Vega library experience. This is obviously a major focus of new development at Innovative, as I'm sure you've all heard a little bit about it by now. And I'm going to start big picture when we're talking about the library experience and not just discover any of the engagement modules, but really just take a step back and think about what is the library experience. Really, it's something different for everybody, right? Where it's been so focused on the facilities for so many years, we've seen firsthand that it's a lot more than that. Obviously, a power user has a much different sort of interaction than somebody who's not even a card holder and maybe donates as a community member once a year. Two, maybe the person who just looks at ebooks and doesn't really come into the physical site anymore. Vega's goal is to allow you all to see all of your patrons' interactions, their library experience in a single view. And so as we started building out the different modules for this library experience platform, we started with discovery, because really over the last year and a half, that's been your patron's main connection to the library. But that's just the start of the journey for us. Vega's including engagement modules. And when we talk about engagement, we're not just talking about sending emails to every patron email address in your book, right? We're talking about sending meaningful messages to the segmentation of your patron base that's most relevant to receive that message. And so as we go through this, we'll go ahead and spend a little bit of time talking less about the discovery component, because there is its own session on that, and more about the engagement components. But first, I think it's important to acknowledge some of our development partners in the Midwest and abroad. You'll see here that we've had great adaptation of this platform. Since general release over a year ago, this partner list has increased. It includes some large and small libraries, as well as standalone and consortia. And so as I talk about the different modules, you'll see everything above this connect layer is this Vega platform. Sierra Polaris, you're still going to be doing your core cataloging there in Mark. But like I said, we have our own session dedicated to Discover. So I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about interact, promote, and program. Quickly, when I say interact, I'm talking about the one-to-one communications between you and your patrons. This could be a chat session, or any other sort of one-to-one communications, a specific email thread, or maybe a text message being sent. Promote is the one-to-many, where you're sending a message to a broader group across, or maybe a subset, and they're getting the same message. This is the idea where they participated in summer reading last year, so they get an invitation back to participate this year. Or if they didn't participate last year and you want to invite them to this year, they're going to get a slightly different message there. And then program is what's going to come, it's coming more in 2022, but this is the area that includes your events, your room reservations, some landing pages to sign up for those sorts of items. And of course, anytime you're collecting this much data, we want to be able to have an analytics engine. Again, Analyze will be coming more in 2022 than what we have this year. At the heart of all of this is this connect layer that I mentioned. This is binding your ILS to the Vega platform. This is where your MARC data that's used in your catalog becomes linked data using the BibFrame format. So everything above this is in BibFrame and everything below it is in MARC. So as we look at these different interact, promote, and program, or the engagement suite, as I like to call it, let's take a little deeper look at what people are doing now, right? We all have areas where patrons can sign up for things on our website, or get newsletters and click through and see different things. The challenge is that you're using a lot of different systems, whether that's MailChimp or some of these other items out there available. And what we're trying to do with Vega is put this all under one umbrella so that your staff can see, yeah, they participated and they responded to this email campaign about summer reading program, but here's also their lending activity, and maybe there's some overlap there that helps make the next dialogue more meaningful for your patrons. So as we look at how we incorporate all of this into one area, let's start with that interact. And I used the chat bot earlier. The idea here is, if somebody wants to know the second book in a series, right? We don't necessarily need a librarian to tell that. We can automate that process, and we have the intelligence built into interact to do this. Equally, if they want to place a hold at it, the chat bot will know what branch, check that that's the branch they want to pick it up at, and be able to place that hold on their behalf. Whereas maybe if they're asking for recommendations for their 10-year-old daughter for the next series for her to read, that might be something that we want a librarian to interact on. And so at that point, the chatbot will tell them, I'm going to go get somebody. If someone's not available, it's going to go into a queue and they'll be responded to in whatever the library's procedures are there. And so these communications become very personal and one-to-one at that interact layer. Equally, recommendations can come down into the discovery layer, into the personalized bookshelf area for that patron. These sorts of one-on-one communications can include different notices, lending notices that are coming out, but they can also include, maybe under an example here, a new patron registration. They sign up, and instead of just getting an email with their barcode information, they're also going to get a series of emails asking them to download the mobile app or participate in some other programs coming up, or maybe it's just to highlight their preferences. But they're going to get these messages in beautiful emails, and these are can include information from Synthetics Unbound and the entire Vega sphere. These emails can also be one-to-many, as I mentioned, with the Promote engine. These could include newsletters, marketing campaigns. Maybe there's a registration web page, landing page for them to come and register as with the call to action. The key is that there is a WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get editor on the back end. So staff can build these with a drag and drop environment, and it doesn't take a technical wizard to complete all of this. Equally, in Vega, we start you off with some templates to build from. An example here is a winter fundraising campaign, and it's going to be synced up with some different emails already queued. You will go into the editor and build them and customize them. At the end of the day, what we're getting to is this extended patron record with an activity stream, so that you're seeing not only their lending activities, maybe some of their preferences, but also what all they've been doing, whether that's a chat session or a email participation, or maybe there's an online webinar that they've participated in that you're doing. And at the end of the day, we want to enable our libraries to take Miriam from somebody who's just placing a hold on a book to somebody who's fully engaged with the library and the library experience. Of course, nothing happens overnight. We do have a roadmap for Vega. It is on the website, along with our other roadmaps. And different components are coming out throughout the end of this year and into next year and beyond. And so speaking of roadmaps, we'll go ahead and use this as our segue to switch gears into the Sierra and Polaris roadmaps. Again, all of these are listed on our website. So as we look at some of the Sierra roadmap items, I do want to call out, you just go to III.com and hit products, Sierra or Polaris, or any product. And one of the first things you'll see is the link to the roadmaps. You'll get a screen as you're looking at now, or you can get to this through the support.III.com. And when you do come in here, if you click for more information, you'll also notice down at the bottom right an area where you can vote on it. This is almost a mini idea lab where quickly we can find out how valuable the items we're adding are from the people who are taking a look at them. So please go visit III.com and see some details in the roadmap and let us know what's most important to you. As I mentioned Idea Lab, you can see as the impact of Idea Lab continues to get greater and greater every year. Our product team is relying heavily on this, so please be involved in Idea Lab if you have a good idea or just want to vote up somebody else's idea. As we look at some of the highlights from 2021, Sierra and Encore, as well as mobile work lists and decision centers, have all had enhancement releases already this year. Still ahead is Sierra and Encore 5.4, an exciting announcements for InReach, as well as mobile work lists and decision centers are also being enhanced. As we look at the Sierra enhancements, there's 4 general areas that we're following. Those that help the staff experience, those that help the patron experience, those that are driven by the community, and then the API and integration enhancements. So I'm going to use that as we walk through the different areas here. As I said before, because this is all on our website, I'm not going to spend too much time diving into it here, other than to say when we look at the staff enhancements, you'll see what what's coming up in 5.4 at the end of this year, and then 5.5 at the beginning of next year. On the patron-facing side, you'll notice that a lot of these are around Vega, Discover, as well as Summon, being the patron-facing elements that are most commonly used. That's where the focus of our energy is going to be. Campus M is a mobile app for campus academic institutions that we're super excited to be able to roll out. And then Mobile Junior is think of the children's pack. This is an area that has some tightened security on it, making sure that children are seeing age-appropriate items being returned in their results on the mobile app. As we look to those enhancements driven by the community, you'll see what's in store later this year with 5.4, as well as those included in 5.5 next first half of next year. And then lastly, the APIs and our integration components. We continue to enhance and add endpoints as fastly as possible. You'll see some for Sierra and Encore here in 5.4 as well as 5.5. Some of the ancillary products, the mobile app is both mobile workless and our innovative mobile app are getting enhancements in the second half of this year and into next year. For InReach, a lot of the work is around the APIs. One of the things I will talk about is the underlying technology that InReach was built on originally was Millennium. A lot of you have probably used Millennium in the past. We have migrated that to Sierra, and this enables us to do a lot more with the APIs as well as the underlying data structure. We're going to see a lot more enhancements coming to Search Ohio in the coming months and into next year. We're super excited about all of that. One example of that is the ability for non-innovative ILSs to also become part of Search Ohio. This can help increase the lending activities between you. You'll see for Bywater Solutions and Koha, we're in production. And for the Ex Libris family, Alma and OhioLink, we're just about in production with them. You'll also see a lot of the others have already begun working on development with that. And so this is for what we're calling direct to InReach, D2IR. So enough about Sierra and the Sierra environment. Let's switch gears and go to Polaris. We've had earlier this year, we had our 7.0 released on time. Again, going back to our 3 criteria, deliver enhancements on time and on schedule and as promised. And so we're adamant about sticking to that. And we say so 7.1, our beta testers already have Polaris 7.1 and it's in testing and hope to have that out soon. You'll see some of the highlights there. Again, Idea Lab is help driving what's in these releases. You'll see some different numbers here, but the big component to take away from this is it's increasing. And as we look at Polaris 7.1 coming out at the end of this year, the items on the top half of the screen are the LEAP-related enhancements, and then the bottom are more the core Polaris functionality that's being enhanced. And again, the details are on our website as well. So as you look here at Polaris 7.2, you'll see a number of items being enhanced. The LEAP items are in the blue box, with the other items being outside of the blue box for you there. Forgive me. And as I mentioned, a lot of these enhancements are in LEAP. And really what we're trying to do is a completely reimagined web experience where we're taking the old desktop client and making the new LEAP environment. As I mentioned, these are on the website. Earlier we showed through, if you come through the product side, and if you come through the III support, III.support, you're able to see the new LEAP solutions has a whole area here, as well as the product roadmaps in the middle there. So certainly hope that you found this educational, and should you have greater questions about any of these items, please join us in the Q&A session as we look forward to talking with you there and diving deeper into these areas.